So welcome today. So one of the best ways to grow your business online and increase your business profile is through doing a Facebook Live. So today in our Facebook Live, we're going to talk about the 9 tips to maximize your business's profile leads and sales while using Facebook Lives. If you know of a friend who might benefit from this video, please tag and share the video with them today so that they can benefit. For those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Dawn Larsen and I'm a digital branding specialist with Navigator Marketing. Navigator is a marketing agency that helps business owners grow from where they are now to where they want to be. And we position their business at the sort of the intersection of consumer behavior and technology, growing their sales. So let's get into some of the good video today. If you have a moment, go into the comments below and let me know what industry your business is in, because after the replay, then I can go in and give you some additional tips on how to use your Facebook Lives to really maximize your brand online. So let's dive into today's topic. If you're just getting into the broadcast now, today we're going to talk about the 9 tips to maximize your profile and brand online using Facebook Live video. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me on the live. Your questions, I'll answer them live now. And if you're visiting us on the replay, leave your questions in the comments below. And after the launch, I go back in and I answer all your questions, provide you with some links and things like that. I want to give a shout out to Susan, David, and Bill for joining us today on the broadcast live. I go live every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time with topics and strategies that our members have been asking about. They have some questions about. So if there's some topics that you want me to cover in these Facebook Lives, please leave again in the comment section below and we'll address those in future videos for sure. Well, Facebook Live is the easiest way to help your prospects learn about your business, to sort of get to know, like, and trust you while they're learning some valuable information about your industry and what they may need and how you've helped other people in the industry. So it's a really valuable tool and people really want to get to know, like, and trust you before they actually do business with you. So what better way than a Facebook Live? And you never want to kind of ignore Facebook and Facebook Live because it is a very, very powerful engine. There's 1.8 billion people using Facebook right now. And Facebook really favors video over any other kind of post. But more than that, Facebook really favors live streaming, like a Facebook Live. So you want to be using this to grow your business because it's really the most easy way to get to, identify with your prospects and connect with them. And the great, thing about Facebook Live is there's really a low barrier to entry to create content on Facebook. All you really need is a smartphone and you can sit down and you can start live broadcasting with some good information. Now, you'll want to follow these 9 tips before you go and do a Facebook Live so that you can present your best sort of face and your best content. But let's get into some of the information here because your Facebook is your Facebook Live broadcasts are a really good way to kind of grow your brand, reach and impact more people. Kind of educate your target audience. A lot of people don't know what they don't know, and they don't even know that they have a problem or that you have a solution. And so that really helps. And it really helps in a Facebook Live to reach your ideal customer. So I've been using Facebook Lives for a long time, and we use Facebook Lives for a lot of our customers. We've broadcast live events, we've done product launches, we've showcased different kinds of tools and tactics for people. We provide a lot of education and awareness, and we do a lot of introduction to online programs and education. So Facebook Live really has a good kind of range of what you can do with your prospects and your customers. You could be a floral arranger and really showcase this week's floral arrangement, a gift basket arranger where you walk people through how you arrange your gift baskets. You're somebody like us that offers online programs around marketing and business development, and we showcase our information. Or you could be somebody that sells a service like HVAC and heating and repair, where you're really educating people on what they should be looking for when they're buying an HVAC system for their home. So really it has, any gamut of services and industries and products. You can really use Facebook Lives to reach the people that need your information most. So all you really need to go live on Facebook is a few things. So you just need your, iPhone or your Android phone, and you just need the Facebook app. And when you go on Facebook, you will go on to your personal profile and you can click and you can see the go live button. Now, one thing I do recommend is that you want to really do your Facebook Lives on your business page. You can share it to your personal page later, but for the most part, the best kind of sort of strategy is actually doing them on your Facebook business page and then sharing them to your personal page. And you want to make sure that when you're doing your Facebook Live, you're going widescreen on Facebook anyway. If you're doing Instagram, you would do portrait, but on Facebook, you want to make sure you're doing landscape. It just gives you a lot more information and you can see, people. I can see, I'm going to give a shout out to Lynn. I see Lynn's watching. How are you doing? And so you want to make sure that it's landscape so that you're set to go. And additionally, there's a little bit of gear that you might want to purchase, but I'll let you know that I've been interviewed by, great influencers, and some of them simply just put their phone against a shoebox by their computer and video our interview. So it can be that simple. But there are a few pieces of gear that I might recommend that you use that would help you. And so here you'll see that we have your iPhone, but you'll see I have just a little, it's a $6 attachment that you can buy on Amazon or locally through one of your camera stores, and it just holds the iPhone in place. Then the other thing that I use is kind of a tripod, and I have different tripods, but this one's a $10 tripod. So it's really not expensive. It bends, it does everything like that. So those are really, the two tools that I recommend, just so you have a stable kind of environment when you're actually recording your video. The last thing that I do, and it's important to have natural lighting. So I have a window right off to my side that gives me some natural night light, but you can also use a little selfie light. Again, $10 to have, but you can use lighting around your house. I've seen people use trouble lights and whatnot. So you don't need a lot of tools to do a Facebook Live. I do recommend, though, that you check your lighting and that you make sure you have a stable sort of surface to do your video. There's two things that really irritate me as a Facebook Live watcher, and that's a jiggly camera and watching somebody in the dark. It looks like they're in their basement when really they're not. And so, you want to make sure that that's, taken care of. So I do recommend the desktop tripod and that mount. And the last thing, and again, it's not necessary because your iPhones and your Android phones are really good, but is a little mic. And so I have an earphone mic in here, and you can see that I've got it plugged into my iPhone. So really, those are all that you need in terms of gear. I do have a complete gear guide of where to go and what to look for. And if you want that gear guide, just please make a comment below that says send me the gear guide, and I'll make sure that it gets sent to you, because there are some better brands and some better products to use and much cheaper ones to use. So you want to make sure that you have those. So after you have all of your sort of inexpensive gear and you put the app on your phone, you're ready to go and do a Facebook Live. And it's really that simple. So let's talk about the kind of 9 tips of what you need to have to incorporate in a Facebook Live. So the first thing you need to have is a hook. And you'll see that before we started the Facebook Live, I had a title started. And really all I did was when I started the Facebook Live, I typed in my compelling title. I put live now, 9 tips to help you maximize your Facebook Lives. I want to catch your interest. If this is of interest to you, then you're going to watch the video and continue on. So having a compelling title and an interest-grabbing title, it's kind of talking about what you promise to deliver in the body of your Facebook Live. And it's really important that you repeat it a couple of times, because people are coming into your live broadcast ongoing. Some may come in right away, some come in 5 minutes later. And so I do announce it a couple times at the beginning, and it's really great. And so your titles can be something like the 3 best yoga moves for pain relief, or the top 5 best gifts for Mother's Day, or how to cut your keto meal prep in half, or how to cut through limiting beliefs in 5 minutes. something like that that's going to help you, tell people what promise you're going to deliver in your content for your Facebook Live. And it really, you want it to resonate with your target audience and create some interest so they actually visit your live stream. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is you want to have a hook. You want to make sure that you're letting people know once they are on the broadcast what you're going to deliver. And again, you heard at the beginning of my Facebook Live, today we're going to talk about, and we're going to cover some of the mistakes I want you to avoid. So now you know that I'm going to talk about some tips and some important things that you need to avoid doing so that you have a really good Facebook Live. So hopefully I've captured your interest and you're going to stay on through the Facebook Live. So the third tip is that you want to make sure that you establish your authority. You want to make sure that you're introducing yourself to people. And you heard me say, if we haven't met before, my name is Dawn Larsen and I'm from Navigator Marketing. I kind of demonstrated to you what I do for businesses and people. And so I tried to give you that information. You'll also see that when I started the Facebook Live, I didn't kind of fidget and, filter with my technology. I kind of went right into my Facebook Live, and that's really important. This is mistake number one a lot of business owners and influencers on Facebook make. They fiddle for the first few seconds, sometimes up to 20 seconds on their Facebook Live, A, waiting for people to get on, and B, trying to fiddle with their technology. I highly recommend having that all ready before you get into your Facebook Live so that you're not wasting valuable time. Think that you are doing your video for your replay audience. You may not have a lot of people on your Facebook Live, but where you will get a big audience is on the replay or the rebroadcast. So always consider how the rebroadcast audience is viewing your video. And if you're wasting their time, they're going to log off. You have 3 to 10 seconds to capture their interest. So don't waste it. Make it count and get right into the dialogue of what you're going to deliver and what you're going to offer. It's really, really important. So you want to establish your authority. You want to make it, again, that tip number 3, you want to make it quick and fast, but you want to give them some good information so they understand why they should be listening to you and who you are. So that's really important because, somebody, again, may have shared it just like I'm hoping that you will share this broadcast with your friends and colleagues just simply by tagging them or, sharing it along. So it's really important that you make sure that you've identified who you are and a little bit of information about that. So the other thing is that, you want to encourage engagement, and that's a really important part of Facebook Lives. So you've heard all the way from the beginning to now that I've been encouraging you to leave some comments in the comments below. Tell me what industry you're in. I really want to get to know you, but also as the Facebook Live is going on, I can really customize my content for you and I can really personalize it. So that's why I want some engagement so that I can give you some really good feedback in real time. The other part of that is that I want to hear from the replay audience. So I go into my Facebook Lives after the fact and I respond to any questions they have and I, send them links or some additional information. It's really important because people will engage. If they can't meet you at your designated time for your Facebook Live at, say, Fridays, Eastern Standard Time for my broadcast, then they know to go into the replay and they know even that their questions will be answered. So you get a lot higher engagement post Facebook Live. So that's really important. So we've covered compelling and interesting title. We've covered having a really good hook. Number 3 was to establish your authority online. And number 4 is to encourage engagement. Now, engagement can be many things. You want to, get them asking questions. You want to get your audience asking questions. But the other thing is, and I like to do this, is, and I want you to try it too, is I get my audience to we call it a rapid fire. You can rapid fire on the hearts. When you find a topic or when you find an aha and go, oh, I didn't even know about that, I always encourage them to rapid fire on the hearts, and I know that I'm hitting some really good topics that they're of value to them. So those are some of the ways that you can get engagement. So just practice now, just rapid fire on the heart button so that you know how to get your audience to do it. But it's a really powerful tool and it really helps people kind of, connect. I like to connect with my audience and know what they're doing. So you want to give them that verbal kind of direction to engage, because some people don't know that that's important to do. And so, again, any feedback that you have is, to get them engaged is really valuable. And the other thing is that you want to make sure you have some really good, compelling content. Now, this has to be of value to them. It can't, it's got to be something that they're going to take away and go, wow, I didn't know that. And so it's really important when I've, finished my introductions and I've done some call outs to say hi to some people and I've, asked them to engage in the comments section, I want to make sure that I get right into the content and that the content is concise. Strong content has some good value to it, easy to digest and actionable, and it delivers good value around that title that I kind of used at the beginning to, my promise of what the content was about. So it's really important. And it is recommended that when you do a Facebook Live, that they're about 20 minutes in length. And in that time, you can cover all of these tips that I'm talking about really easy. So, Facebook Live, 18 to 20 minutes is of really good value and easy for people to digest. Number 7, the tip is have a really strong call to action. At the end of all of the content that you provide, you want to direct your people and your followers to know what they need to do next. And so you'll see at the end of my video that I, ask people to come back and visit on Fridays at noon Eastern Standard Time. If they want the gear guide, they can, comment in the comments below. If they want to get additional support, they can tell me what industry they're in. So I leave all of those. And then I also remind them that there's a link in the word box above the video that if they want to get alerted for next week's training, that they can click the link. So those are all my calls to action, and they're very important because they get people to take that next action. You want to make sure that you're addressing their topics and their concerns, so you can ask them to leave a comment or what other topics you'd like they would like you to address in your upcoming videos. And again, you'll get some really good information from them. So you don't want to waste not having that call to action because it's a very valuable tool to understand what your target audience wants from you and also to get them to take action so that you're moving them down your, like say, sales funnel, that you're getting them to engage with you and know, like, and trust you more. So it's a really, really important tool. And again, maybe you won't have anybody on your first 5 to 10 broadcasts, and that's okay. Statistically, there isn't usually a lot of people on Facebook Live unless you're one of the big influencers. But where the real power is in your replays and your rebroadcast. So you want to make sure that you've got some really good content that you can rebroadcast. Now, tip number 8 is at the end of your Facebook Live, you could have some questions and answers. I like when my people that are watching me actually ask the questions ongoing, and I usually respond to them in real time. But you can have a Q&A at the end if you have a good size audience. Now, I always ask people to leave their comments in the comments below because then I understand what industry they're from and I can reply, but also everybody else can benefit. So again, your choice on how you do it. For the first 5 to 10 Facebook Lives, I recommend doing your Q&A in the comment section. Once you're comfortable with your Facebook Lives, then again, you can start to have a Q&A section. So, that's just one of your choices. So tip number 9. So after your broadcast is complete, you've done a great Facebook Live. You've delivered 2, 3, 5, 9 tips to your viewers. Now what do you do? Well, after the broadcast is live, there's still a few things you can do to improve your broadcast so that you can reach more people. The first thing you want to do is that Facebook uses a thumbnail for your video. A thumbnail is sort of an image that there's taken from your Facebook Live broadcast. And it usually takes a thumbnail out of the first 5 seconds of your video. So that's where you want to make sure that you're not fiddling with technology, but that you actually have a really good facial expression and positioning so that Facebook could use that. Now, so you can actually do your pose of what you want, like, or whatever you choose, and Facebook Live will take that picture and use that as your thumbnail. But you don't have to use that. You can then upload another picture that's similar to your Facebook Live or a produced thumbnail. So when we do our videos for YouTube, I usually have a produced thumbnail that I use. However, in Facebook Live, I don't recommend that. I recommend making it as less salesy as you can. So that means taking a picture of you at the time before, after, or during your Facebook Live and using that so that it's as close to your Facebook Live as possible and not really a commercial sales message. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Facebook is really about native video, so you want to make sure that you are using that instead. But you can, if you don't like the pictures that Facebook had taken for you for your thumbnail, again, you can upload your own. So that's really important. So the other thing, after the broadcast is done, you can go into your videos and you can change the title. So right now my title is Live 9 Tips to Maximize Your Facebook Live. But after the video is broadcast and launched, what I'll do is I'll go back in and I'll take the words Live Now out of there. I'll also add a link to the area where they can click to get alerted before our next broadcast next week. So it's a link that as a messenger alert so that they can get a notification. And I'll also have a link to a download. So when I'm doing these video trainings here, we have a video masterclass, and it really goes in depth on how to have the confidence and to develop the content for Facebook Lives and video content. So it's a video masterclass. And so I'll include the link in the video description as well. Again, you're always wanting to use this opportunity with a Facebook Live or any social media to drive people back to your website to either make a purchase, subscribe to some information, or to call you for some information. That is what social media is. It is a tool to drive profile leads and sales. And you want to make sure that after you've done your Facebook Live and you've kind of went through your checklist that I've given you today, that you can say, yep, check, got this. Yep, I've got a link back to my website. Yes, I have some lead generation happening out of this video, and I've got people subscribing or connecting with me in some way. It's really important. So, I really recommend that you do your weekly, try to do, commit to doing 4 weekly Facebook Lives. Deliver some really good content consistently. Show up with some value and some tips for your, followers, and use these tips that I've given you today to really help you. And the other bonus tip that I want to talk about is that you can then take this video, and after you've got some engagement with it and people are sharing it, you can then use this as a Facebook advertisement for your business. How great is that? It's content that people need to know. People like it because your followers have asked for this content from you, or you've heard these questions and you're responding to them. So even if you have $5 or $10 a week, you can take this video and you can put it in a Facebook advertisement and target those people that are your prospects or potential customers, and send that out so that you're expanding your network. More people are learning about you. More people are learning about solutions that you provide. So that's really important. Is that bonus tip is that you can use these Facebook Lives in video ads. Now, of course, you may want to, you're going to link to it and things like that. That's the great part, is after you broadcast your Facebook Live, you get a live link. So there's a link in your browser to your Facebook Live video. And so you can share that everywhere. That's the other bonus about Facebook Lives, is you can retweet the link. You can put it on LinkedIn. You can share it in an email sequence to your email contacts. You can put it on your website inside a blog. So there's a lot of value a Facebook Live can do. It helps you to put together and formulate some content with your live audience, but then there's so many opportunities where you can use this information in different formats to really kind of increase your profile, generate some great leads for your business, and really help you generate sales in the long run. So I really recommend that you commit to doing a couple of Facebook Lives. If you're not sure, with these tips, and you're not sure if this is enough information for you, leave a comment below and I'll send you the link to our video masterclass training so that you can understand sort of the in-depth processes. This is kind of top level tips, but we do have a video training program where we show you how to use the best gear, how to formulate your content weekly, what topics are of interest, how to, maximize the exposure after you've done your Facebook Lives, and to how to use your Facebook Lives in promoting your business. And making it an evergreen content and packaging actually your Facebook Lives later on so that you could sell it within a program. So there's a lot of opportunities that come out of doing a Facebook Live. But first, I just want you to start with doing a Facebook Live and doing them consistently at a certain time, a certain day of the week, and creating some content. But if you're looking for some additional information, then I encourage you to ask for some information below about the masterclass. So again, you have just even $5 or $10 a week, and you can take this finished Facebook Live and you can broadcast it through Facebook, to reach different audiences. If you are just dealing with local people in your city, it's very easy to target. And if you're dealing with people across, say Canada or the United States, you can target that as well. So the great part with Facebook is Lives is that it has so much versatility. You can just do so much with it. And so, again, finding some initial topics that people have come to you and said, hey, these are some of the things I need to know about your business, or here's some of the objections I have to taking yoga, or I don't know which HVAC system to buy. These Facebook Lives really do a great job. The last bonus tip I want to give you is that you can add captions to the bottom of your Facebook Live. And they're really important. We have in my masterclass, a whole thing about how to do captions on live video or video in general. So you might want to know a little bit more about that. But captions are really important because here's a fact. 85% of people who consume video do it without sound. They're not turning on the sound because, it makes common sense that especially when we notice with our car dealerships and some of our businesses, the biggest amount of people, or the biggest volume of people watching Facebook and videos on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook is during their lunch hour, but also till 3 o'clock. So 12 till 3 o'clock, and then again at 8:30 at night. So if they're at work, or they're on a bus, or they're on a train, or they're in a meeting, they are watching video, but they have the sound off. So you want to make sure that you have captions so that they can actually comprehend what you're talking about, and they can actually watch through to the end. You'll see people who have captions on their video have a longer view time on their videos than people without captions. So those are some solid tips that I wanted to give you today about, creating your first Facebook Live. And if you really follow those tips and you kind of incorporate all of those elements into your Facebook Lives, you'll see it really makes a difference. And if you watch others people's Facebook Lives, you'll see, what's missing in theirs. So I just want to say a shout out to Marianne and Barb for watching today as well. Thanks for joining us. So the question of the day, what part of doing a Facebook Live is holding you back from starting one? Let me know in the comments below. And what I'll do is I'll give you a little bit more resources or links to other details that can really help you. But answer that question for me if you don't mind. What is the one thing that you feel is holding you back from doing your first Facebook Live? And what topic do you think you want to talk about? Because I can help you with that as well. So if you have any questions about what we talked about today, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section below. And remember to click the link above to be alerted for next week's Facebook Live. And again, if you know of anybody that could use this information, please don't hesitate to share it with them. And until next week, my name is Dawn Larsen, business strategist with Navigator Marketing. Thanks for joining me.